So programming paragraphs. So like paragraphing, we know there's a way we do paragraphing in programming language, right? Paragraphing means that there's a place you put punctuations, that you place your start, right? And then let me just bring a paint and then show us what I'm talking about. Maybe in paragraphing in in English writing, all right? In English writing, you can see my screen. English writing, there's a way we do our paragraphing. Then, the teacher will say, okay, the line will write starts here. Okay, sorry, let me reduce this. The teacher will always tell us that the line will start here, and this is the starting of your line, and this is the ending of your pages, right? And the teacher will say, okay, for you to start writing, you can start here to write this, blah, 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 blah. And if you're entering the next line, you start from here, blah, 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 blah. They get it now. Blah, 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 something like this, right? Until you continue. And then when you stop, when you finish writing, maybe there's a point you can continue. Maybe we have finished that paragraph, it's ended here, right? You have to start another one, and also it must be in the same line with this, right? You continue another one, right? You continue writing, and again, remember, this is called what in Python. Thank you. In Python, we call this paragraphing now indentation. Okay, we call it what? Indentation. Indentation. So if you miss the indentation of this, you're gonna have issues. You're gonna it won't run. It will show you error. Okay. So what is a Python script? Now in Python script, interactive Python is a good, right? It's good for experiments and programs of like 3 to 4 lines long, right? Now, most programs are much longer, so we type them into a file and then tell Python to run the line in the file. Are you hearing me? Now, look at this. In a sense, we are going to like write this Python script, right? We are not going to be typing it in a line, okay? Because we have interactive mode, right? Interactive mode, there is Python interactive mode. I think I've showed you the other time, right? When I open my terminal or my PowerShell, right? I open a place my PowerShell. So in the PowerShell, I just type the word Python, and I enter Python, right? You can see that this is a Python thing. Now this is interactive mode, right? This interactive mode. This is a Python shell interactive mode. So this is not where we write a Python script. Okay, it's not where we write Python. You just type a code. Let's say print uh, print smart is a programmer, right? And then we close it and print. So sorry, I put 4 in front of it. You see? Mm, okay, let me clean it again. I will say print smart is a programmer, right? Okay, I think should be double. Why is it not print? Oh, sorry. Oh my god. I'm supposed to do print, not print. Exactly. You can see smart is a programmer, right? So this is interactive, right? It's interactive. So, but when we want to work, we don't put it in a interactive mode. We run it in what? In a file, right? We run it in a file, right? Now, so when we run a file, there is a particular convention we use in writing. Like when we are creating a Python script, the Python script file, right? It must end in what? .py. If it did not end in .py, it will not be termed to be a Python script. Like a bash script in Linux, you end it with what? .sh, right? Then Java application ends with what? .java, right? JavaScript ends with what? .js. Then HTML end with what? HTML. Then PHP file ends with what? .php. I get me. So this is how the format, the suffix of the Python and of all the programming language ends. So for Python, so that Python will understand that this is a Python script, so you can be able to read it. You need to make it what dot py. I don't know if you get it clearly now. This is the first thing you need to understand, and you need to understand that when interactive mode is separate from what from running a script. Interactive mode is different from running a script. I don't know if you get me. So now we are going to look at also when you are creating a file, when you are creating a Python file, you also need to understand indentation. Indentation, right? In Python scripting. You need to understand what I say is what? Indentation. Exactly. Let us continue. Now, like I said, there what we call interactive mode and what? Scripting. Let's just understand both of them, interactive and scripting. I'm going to just practicalize it so you can understand it very well. Now, interactive means, like I said, you type directly to the Python one line at a time and it responds immediately. Okay? Just like this I just did now. This is a Python script for me, right? Exactly. You cannot write more than one line. I say, I say A equals to 7. This is one line. I've already written A. I can say print what? Print A. Can you see? You can see. No, 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 we can't do that here. We can't do that here. Okay? No, no, no. We can't do that in this as a, we have to put it in line by line. Okay? Now the next thing, let me exit this. Okay, I'm exited it. Now I'm gonna open a notepad. Okay, but before I open a notepad, let me go to my home, cd document, cd python class. I'm opening a notepad. Notepad. I'm creating a file now called test.py. Note. I like it. Let me create a file. Right? So I'm going to create a file called class one. Cd class one. Now I'm going to open a file notepad. Eh? Python. Okay, class one py. Okay, you can see Python 01.py. Now it will open notepad, right? So now if you check now, it says that this is, can you see Python.py, right? And I'll type what? I'll now write a Python script. Look at that Python, 2 lines of code. I say A is equals to 10. Okay, 10. B equals to 11. C equals to A plus B, right? Then D equals to C times A minus B. N equals to A in brackets B times C, all divided by what? By D. Do you get it? It's a N. Print N. Can you see? Is it not complicated? Right? This is the first line, assignment and the equation, right? Assignment and operation, sorry. Assignment and operation, and then print what? Statement. Print function. Now I will close this because I've already done this. I'll close it. Then I can now cut it. Let me cut that file. Class one. You can see the lines of top, right? This is the cut. This is just to show you what is inside the file. But I've not run it yet. I've not run it yet. Okay. And you see that it ended with what? It started with what? Class and ended with py, showing that it's a no. Cat file. Just this is a Python. This is a bash command. Okay, this Linux command. So I just cut it to show you. Now, you can see like this now that we have these lines of code, right? Now I want to run it. I want to run it. It's going to compute all these things for me and give me the output of n. Now watch. Let me now run it and say I will not run what? Python, all right? Then I will now put that what? Class py. Okay, it says that we have error here where we have a. So we do not, yes, we need to put times there, right? So I now nano, and then, I mean, sorry, nano, let me check class. Okay, it's not going wrong. Notepad, eh? Notepad class this. Let's go and put times there, okay? Times there. And I'll save it. And then let us go and run it back again. Can you see? Can you see? That's the value. Can you see? We have gotten our answer. Can you see? This is the value of what we are talking about. Now, if you want to run it in an interactive mode, we can still achieve the same thing, right? But this one, we are going to be typing it line by line. Let's just type the Python. We are inside. Exactly, exactly. That's what we did initially. Okay, that's what we did initially. Let me enter again. CD document uh, test, no, Python class, then class one, enter. Then notepad class, right? So I'm just going to put it one side so that you see. So this is the code, right? Now let me bring this one interactive mode so you can literally see what I'm doing. I'll just increase it. Python. We are now in Python script mode, right? Now let me a equals to what? 10, right? Then the next, so it have already been saved. This is have been saved in memory, in computer memory. So it created a space called what? A. Just like a temporal place called a temporal placeholder called A, and it will store a value inside it called good. Good, good. Now let us B is equals to what? B equals to 11. Then we now say C is equals to what? A plus B, right? We have saved it. Then we look at what? D is equals to what? C times A minus B. We have saved it, right? Then N is equals to what? A times brackets B times C divided by D. Can you see? Enter. Then finally, print, right? Print N, right? Can see that is how we got the answer. But you can see that we just have to type this one line, blind, line. Then we don't need all those things. So if we are doing some lines, say how many lines of code? Let's say 200 lines of code or 300 lines of code. That is how we will be writing this thing line by line in interactive mode. It's not feasible, right? It's not feasible. So what we need is that we need it to be in a Python script. Hope you get that. Just like what we just did, to have it in a line so we can now run it in. Exactly, exactly, exactly. So I believe you have gotten. So if someone can wake you up in a dream and ask you what is interactive mode in Python and Bash scripting mode, I think Python script mode you can just give that explanation of what both of them means, right? The next line of code, we are going to say is what programming steps and program steps and program flow, right? Okay, like a I think I'm hearing a background noise there. All right. Okay, let's continue. Now, Python steps. or program flow. Understand this time. I'm just taking it carefully, right? So that you can understand it in the greatest memory. Now we have like now when you talk about like let's say take the example like a receipt, right? Or like a, re- a receipt, right? Or instructions, installation instruction, or a program is a sequence of what steps to be done in orderly, right? Let's say you take a you want to prepare a food, right? You want to prepare food, then these particular steps that you want to use to prepare that particular meal, right? You have a recipe for that. You go and buy all the ingredients needed to cook the food, and then but you need step by step way of cooking that food, right? So these are just called what the steps. So in Python, you also follow that method, right? So you have to first of all prepare like say you are cooking soup now, right? You have to prepare your vegetable, you have to prepare the pots, wash the meat, right? You have to do other things before you start putting everything together. I don't know if you get me. And then give time because you need to know the time you have to put salt, the time you have to add the meat. You get it, and all those things. And then you need to know the time you have to do your eba and that, right? You don't need to do your eba when you are ready. You have not started cooking the soup. You get it. So all those things you have to take it step by step. That is actually how it is done in in Python and in programming language. So when you are building a program, it's more or less like you are cooking soup. You are cooking a food, right? Everybody have their different way of cooking. Do you get it? That's why different developers are. So I just in a nutshell, I can call a developer a a cooker, right? A cook. I can call a developer a cook because we are always cooking different types of programs. Do you get it? You are building different types of programs and you're following different step by step in doing that, right? So that is actually how it is. Now, when it comes to something called so when you are building your code, there are some steps, right, in your code that requires you to make some consideration, right? So that means in that point you have to do what called conditional, right? You have to put it in a conditional way, all right? Conditional way means that maybe in certain level, if this particular code need to behave this way, you have to take this action. If you don't behave this way, you have to take this action. I don't get. Yeah. So that's actually, and sometimes, all right, a step or group of steps is to be repeated. I don't know if you get me. Let's say you are doing something and you wanted to repeat that thing multiple times before you can move to the next step. Do you get it? So now let us talk about. We say that there is something called sequential flow. That's number one. Second is what conditional, right? Conditional, if something happened, something should take place, right? And that one is that we need to repeat a task, we need to repeat something. I don't know if you get me. We need to repeat something until we get a amount of time we needed to run before we can be able to do other things. Do you get it? So now sometime we store a step of we set a okay, we store a set of steps to be used over and over as we needed several places throughout the program, right? So which means that multiple places that we may need to repeat a line of code. So instead of you writing it multiple times, you can group them, right? So you can now call it and repeat it. You get it? Mhm. Yes, we can. There's a way we can just yeah, exactly, exactly. All right, let's continue. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, you get it clear. You get it clear now. Let's move forward. Now we talked about first of all, we talk about sequential, right? We talk about sequential, right? We talk about sequential. First of all, sequence that is sequential, right? Talk about condition. We talk about repeats, right? Let us look at that sequential step. Sequential step is that the first step must happen before the second step will take place, right? Just like serial methodology, right? So if x is equals to 2, then we'll now say if x is equals to 2, then print x is equals to 4x plus 2, print x. Do you get it? So which one will run first? The first line will run, followed by second line, followed by third line, followed by fourth line. Now, if you check this thing that we just did now, this is the sequential we're talking about, right? So this is what is the first line, okay? This one is what? This one is second line, right? This one is what? This one is what? The third line, all right? And this is what? The fourth line, right? This is what? The fifth line. This is the sixth line. Now, this type of script that runs in this form is called what? Is a sequential step, right? Sequential step. Mhm. Okay. Yeah, I've already let me just finish this under the um what's the last step? You can just close, all right? Exactly. Yes. Exactly. Okay, now conditional step means that we have um exactly so that exactly. So this is a condition. Something must happen before an action can be taken. All right, look at it. X is equals to 5, right? Now, this is a conditional now. If x is less than, right, less than 10, right, then it would say print, it will print something, say print what? Smaller, right? But if it's no, it will come here, it will move to the next line, and then it say if x is greater than 20, to say big number, right? But if it's not even at all, it's not greater than 20, right? Then it will print finish, right? So this is called condition. Look at this. The first effect this angle, rectangle is what? The condition. The second one is also condition. So this is how, and there is a conditional answer that happen after which a conditional statement have already happened. That is that if statement. Okay. Now this is the line of code that will do that. You can see if s is equals to 5. If x is greater than 10, dot dot. Now see this indentation that we're talking about. Can you see the very important? Okay. So exactly. Right. So that's actually how this conditional statement look like. Then next is what? It repeats. Repeats. That's going to be the last section, right? Mm. Re- repeat step means n equals to 5, right? Now, if n is greater than 0, right? Any greater than 0, right? So we will print what? Print n. So what is n? It's a print it and say n equals to n minus 1. And then they repeat it again. Look at it. Then it will continue running until n is equals to 0. If it's n is equal to 0, now, look at this 5. Look at this now. Look at this logic. This is logic. N is 5, but n is it n now, the first time it's trying to run, n greater than 0? Yes, it will print. Yes, n is greater than 0, so it have to print n, which is 5. It will run again. It will print 5 and then minus. Look at it, say n equals to 9. N minus 1. So what will be now n? What will be the current n? Thank you, thank you. It will run again and say, is 4 greater than 0? Yes. It will run and print 4. Go again, n equals to n minus 1, which is now 3. It will go again and say n 3 is it greater than 0? Yes. That's how you keep on it until to come to a point where n is equals to 1. It will ask you, print it and say n equals to 1 minus 1, that which is 0. And come back again, say 0 is it greater than 0? No. It will come here and say and print blast off. Exactly. Exactly. Now let us do that particular one. Then we can now let's just create a script, Python script, and then run it and close. Now no, let's say notepad, right? Now say uh repeat.py, right? Repeat.py. Now say n equals to, let's say n equals to 10 now. Okay. Now if n, right? If n is greater than 0, right? Then print what? Sorry. While this is while loop. It's a loop message that we are doing, not if statement. It's a loop. It's a loop statement. So when I say, look at it here. So when I say while n is greater than 0, right? While n is equal than 0, right? Now put indentation. Look at it from that end. Print in brackets n, right? And say another thing again, n equals to n minus 1. Okay, and then it now print what? Print blast off. All right, print blast off. Can you see it now? So what happens here now is this. Let's say run this code and see what happens. Now if you come here and type Python what? Repeat. Can you see? First one is started n is equals to 10. N it minus by 1, right? Yes now. Can you see? So this is where it's blast off, where n is now 0. Can you see? The first state, okay, now let us modify this code. I say n, right? N is equals to, alright? N is equals to, okay, let's say n, right? We now put comma. That's if you want to print some two things together. Put comma. I say n, okay, let's add this. Okay, let us put concatenation, though. Concatenate. Or do we put comma? No, let me put comma. And put this n is equals to mm, mm, I'm trying to put logic. Okay, let me put this in. N is all right. N is equals to, all right, is equals to plus n. Can you see? So n is equals to this. Okay. Now this is one is a string plus integer. String plus integer. Okay. Exactly. N equals to this. Exactly. So let's repeat this thing again. See what it will run. Oh, it says concatenation of this is not working. Not integer to string. So you have to make this uh, string. I want to convert it to string, right? Let's see if it's gonna run. Oh, okay. Let me allow it. Uh, okay. Yes, exactly. Let me leave it this way. See if this one will. All right. So this I'll tell you what I want to say. N n exactly n is equals to 10 at that time. N is equal to this. N is equal to this. N is equal to this, and this is where n is equals to 1. Exactly. 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 Yes, yes. Exactly. We are going to do quadratic equation. And when we come to mathematics part, we do quadratic. Exactly. And anything at all you can think of. We can solve use mathematical equation to solve any complex issues, right? That is Python for you. And that is what you use to equate and analyze data, right? Analyze data. So yeah, exactly. Yes, yes. And actually, this is actually where we stop for this particular part because we're already done. We are done with it, right? So the next section we're going to be having, we're going to be moving to the section module 2, right? Because this is actually module 1, right? So module 2, we are going to be looking at um, module 2. We are going to be looking at expressions, yeah, Python expressions. We're going to be looking at Python expressions. No, no, no. Concatenation is coming. We'll look at concatenation later. But now is what expressions. Mhm. Exactly. All right. So that is actually where we'll stop for today. Interactive. Interactive mode. Right? Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I know, no problem. Let's meet next week. So do have a wonderful day.